weekend is packed with meaningful celebrations and family fun here in Charleston. First up this Saturday is Armed Forces Day at the Children's Museum of the Lowcountry. Then the fun continues as the South Carolina Aquarium begins their 25th anniversary celebration this Sunday. Right now I'm joined by Karen Coltrane at the Children's Museum of the Lowcountry to preview these events. Welcome back, Karen.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Great to have you here. The rain is over.
Yes, apparently, Joey just said.
Yeah.
Now he pivoted us into near record temperatures for the weekend. So
yeah.
Children's Museum, not a bad place to be.
Definitely. Okay, tell me what's going on this weekend at the museum.
Well, we've really looked forward to this. This is Armed Forces Day, and it is nationally. And so our recognition of that is that our active duty and veteran Armed Forces members who, with proper ID, obviously, can come in for free on Saturday with their dependents. So if you know someone who's never been to the Children's Museum, wants to check it out, and they're in the Armed Forces, please encourage them to come. It's a great time to experience the museum. We're renovated, we're ready to go, so it's a wonderful time to be there.
Yeah, and it's a great time to just bring your kids there as well, and of course tell them about the importance of the Armed Forces, right?
That's right. So even if you're not affiliated with the Armed Forces, it is a great time, and I'd like to highlight this day because it's a wonderful way to help children understand empathy for others. So you can ask them questions about, what would it be like if mommy or daddy were gone for 6 months or a year, and just get them thinking about that, the sacrifices that other people make for our overall betterment of our country and world. It's a nice way to get children to start, even very young children, to start thinking about that.
Yeah, and it leads right into Memorial Day as well, and kind of getting the conversation going about that as well with your kids.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So we look forward to this weekend. We've got American flags for the kids and that kind of thing. But to your point, yes, to start to have those conversations that freedom isn't free. We pay a lot for the way that we live in this country. We're so blessed to have that, and that this is a great way. So when you bring your child to the museum, if you're not affiliated with the Armed Forces, you can thank those that are. And I think our staff is actually planning some activities like that if you want to partake.
Well, that's a great idea. That's Saturday, right?
That is Saturday.
Okay, and then on Sunday,
I wanted to mention our neighbors and friends down the street at the aquarium. I know you've already had them in here, but in case somebody missed it the other day, it's their 25th anniversary. We love anniversaries and birthdays. Children's Museums comes up in the fall, and we do a big thing for that. So I want to help spread the word about our friends at the aquarium. We're so fortunate to have that resource here in Charleston. And they have a 25th anniversary block party, and they're selling their tickets, I believe it's Sunday and Monday, for $25 admission, so $13 off the full price. So if you haven't been to the aquarium in a while, this is a great opportunity to check it out. I'll be down there. I want to see what's going on.
Yeah, they were saying yesterday, now is the time to get those tickets because, again, they are discounted. It could be very hot this weekend. Might be a good time to go into the aquarium and hang out with all the amazing wildlife. Do you have any tips for parents bringing their kids to a place like the aquarium? How do you really make the most of that experience in an educational way?
Yeah, I hear so many parents laugh and say, well, all my child wants to do is go to the gift shop, and that's okay, because you can pick something. But when you do get in the gift shop, pick something that really ties in with something that you saw in the museum, or in the aquarium and museum as well, that you can keep coming back to, so that a toy extends its value beyond just with what the child does with it. But when you're at the aquarium or at a block party or that kind of thing, I think it's, have sort of just a little game plan in your mind of look something up online that you think your child might be interested in, maybe the Sting, they have a wonderful ray tank and that kind of thing, and think about a couple of extended questions you can ask your child that will, make them think, open-ended questions. But it takes a little planning ahead of time. It might not come to you in the moment. So if you have 5 minutes, I would go online, just look at what is there that my child might be particularly interested in. Think of a couple of questions that I could ask, for example, like, do you think the rays sleep at night? How do they go night-night? How does that work? Question, just anything that pops in your head. You might even want to Google the answer ahead of time, right? Or ChatGPT it. But then you can, extend the learning that your child is having while they're thoroughly engaged, which is what places like aquariums and museums do for children. That informal learning, if you can just put just a little structure around it, it makes it on rocket fuel for the child. They'll remember it always.
I love the way you look at all of these experiences that we can have with our kids too, because of course it's fun, but there's always an educational component to it. And the more we think about these things ahead of time, we can, help them learn more.
Listen, education is not, parents are children's first teachers, and I would argue best teachers.
Yeah.
And I teach too. I'm out in the community doing that, but the best and first are the parents. And nobody gives you a manual on how to do that. That's why I always say at the museum, we're trying to layer in information for parents because we recognize that these things aren't taught specifically, but if you take that role seriously, you really can change the trajectory of your child's experience, because learning should always be fun. That's why just driving over the Ravenel Bridge or going to the grocery store or anything is a platform. Bugs in the backyard, a platform for learning.
It really is. Karen, thank you so much as always for being here. We'll see you back next week. Guys, go enjoy the museum and the aquarium this weekend.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So much more right after this.